Today on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, the visiting bowler Dominick Paladino out of Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury, Massachusetts takes on the home bowler JT Lyonnais here at Exeter Lanes in New Hampshire for the B North Conference Final. Good luck, bowlers. 5 strings, 5 boxes at a time. And sorry, Steve Kelly, am I blowing your headset out with my booming voice?
No, you're doing just fine. Now that I know which knob to turn. And we are good on the audio. We're good on the visual, horizontal, vertical at Exeter Bowling Lanes at Exeter, New Hampshire.
5 strings, 5 boxes at a time. I'll crank you up a little bit here.
Alrighty.
My name's Greg Gouillart. That's Steve Kelly, and we are live on Candlepin Bowling Network and the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Facebook page. Paladino gets us started. He's got the head pin to begin, and he's got the 6-pin only.
Very nice 9 drop for Mr. Dino.
Home bowler sets the order. Paladino's on that side, I'll note it here. At the 6-pin, it's a spare to begin.
Slash, slash. Like to see an opener of a mark. 10 plus.
If you're new to Candlepin, welcome, 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 especially to you, but of course, welcome to all our viewers. Plays the same as big ball bowling, spares and strikes math anyway, but you get 3 balls like most forms of small ball, and in Candlepin alone, any pins dropped on the plate stay on the plate and can be used as live wood. Not that Dom needed it. That's 8 on the fill, good one.
Ooh. Instead of the 6, it now has a friend, plus the 3.
Don't think that guide ramp should be a problem.
Ought to be just fine.
Uh-oh.
Well, assuming you hit the 3-pin, not the wood. Capping the wood.
Yeah, just a little off target on that. And he gets a 9. So, 5 strings total pinfall. We were playing for points in the season. Well, Steve was. I'm not good enough, but, you know. ACST is split up into multiple classes, so instead of handicapping, you stratify it by classes. Top 32 are under A, next 32 in B, like here, etc. And these are our North Conference finalists. Winner plays either Glen Gill or Marquis Mayer.
Who will be the king of the North in this match, and then they will go down south to figure out who can be the best.
Haha.
Pun intended. The Class B-ist. See, that joke makes more sense when you're Class E because then it's Class E-ist. But Class B-ist, not so much.
Makes sense. Need some sticks on the last one. Center columns noting the head pin hits, white bricks for head pins, and red bricks for splits. That's in the middle of that frame total and running total column. The way I do it, that's not standard Candlepin notation. Kind of similar to the way my friend Skelly does it on 3-ball spare, his own Candlepin content channel.
Yes, I was going to say, very similar. You got the little lights. Sort of like the Hoover vacuum red lights.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's probably not many still are. That was a vacuum cleaner popular in the 80s that I had at my house for a while and saw it on The Price is Right in reruns recently.
Yeah.
The Hoover vacuum with the red lights.
The red light that accomplishes nothing in particular. Head pins are not a given in this game, as you see here.
Head pins may not necessarily be needed in some cases either.
So to give a scope of it, the average between these bowlers is 3 marks a string, actually. So that's what we're going to look for. Paladino's already got the 1.
That's the 1, 3, 6, 10 for Horseman.
Ooh. He's got an 8.
Split the difference.
How you doing out there, chat? Good to see you all here. Hello, Steve Kelly.
Hello, Greg Gouillart.
Charlie Collins, Benjamin from Wisconsin. Good to see y'all. Ben says, do not quit your day job. In response to the Class B-ist.
I have not. Don't you worry. I have work tomorrow at 8.
Don't we all? 9 to 5:30 in my case. This is gettable despite the head pin miss.
1-7.
Are we okay? I'm a little worried about the levels. Say something.
Hello, and welcome to the Exeter Lanes ACST B Finals.
Just off on the head pin. I think we're in good shape here. Chat, yell at us if we're being ridiculous.
My favorite Avicii song is Levels.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, I know.
That is a shame. You want to be able to do something nice for a long time.
Banger of a club song, though.
But also to create something eternal. Paladino's created a 52 half, and it brings up JT Justin Lyonnais.
and who has been unstoppable at Exeter bowling lanes for at least the past 2 matches, first against Paul Mativier and then second against Jeff Little. And he's looking to continue his reign of terror today. Let's see what JT can come up with.
Gets out 4. Number 2 seed, only to John Alosa. Alosa, a great story, but is now out.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to go for 2 in a row, but couldn't quite maintain the pace.
Paladino felled him in his second match. Pinned out decently by JT for an 8.
JT Lyonnais previously threw a 534 against Paul Mativier's 502 in the quarterfinals. And then against Jeff Little, he threw a 575 against Jeff Little's 560 to get him to where he is today. That was my previous stats from the previous
Yeah, don't mind me just craning my head over there.
Sure, yeah.
Good match there. Low-scoring affair between these two the last time they met. We'll get to that in a second. 2-1 split, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Great split by Lyonnais, and we'll take another look.
That was a shot where he can't be too full, he can't be too spread. The 2-4-6. And he went for the right of the 2, I believe, on the Manhattan. No, more direct on the 2. But it was enough to split to left and right on the 4 and the 6.
To Phil, just 5.
Caleri.
As in Bob Caleri of Lexington, Mass.
The man who needs no introduction at this point. You can search his name, Caliri, on YouTube for some WNDS Candlepin Stars and Strikes action from him. Did they coin that shot name on the show, or was that a retroactive?
Now, I don't think Channel 50 ever referenced it.
Yeah.
King of the Palace said it a lot as well.
I was trying to figure out when that term came to be. I couldn't quite figure it out.
George Fiffy, still with his gallows humor, references the leave name as well on Watch Me Suck at Bowling.
The funny thing is all subtitles on YouTube that are auto-generated always seem to rewrite it as C-L-E-R-Y, or, like the word clear with a Y.
Cleary.
Yeah, which I work in education, so that brings to mind the Cleary Act, which is a totally different thing. So, trying to search for this is always engaging.
There was an NHLer named Dan Cleary as well. Keith Beaupre, a bunch of other folks as well. I'm sorry, I refreshed to chat, which was silly. Nicely pinned out for 9.
Yeah. Lane 4.
Pin loss was a factor the last time these two met. It was a 531 to 513 victory for Paladino, and 18-pin win for Paladino, where he knocked down 26 more pins on the pinning. So that was actually the decisive factor. So we'll look to that third ball here with this cluster of 5.
Yes, that's the 4-5-2-7-8 for JT Lyonnais. Piece of wood, a little bit dicey, a little bit still, actually it's settling in a spot where you don't want that wood, basically. You got to play the pocket in the center. 2 diamond plus the 7.
Saw Keith Beaupre in chat. Jeff Little and Todd Holbrook as well. Jeff Little wants some vengeance. He got felled by Lyonnais in that second match. JT also took out Paul Mativier, 534 to 502.
That was a great match, Jeff Little and JT Lyonnais, though, having witnessed it myself. Ooh, the object pin is the only pin left for JT.
You wanted to get on that 2 pin, but he almost snuck up on it anyway. We got a pretty close match here with that 9 box.
Yes, I was going to say it was a difference of 11 going into the 5th. Now it's a difference of 2. So, all right, we got a match. Still 4.5 games left. Total pinfall wins, so the total of each individual games doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot other than just a checkpoint as to how good or bad you're doing up to that point. But total pinfall is the name of the game.
JT has an affinity for lanes 3 and 4, even though you see the ball returns on the outside of the pair of lanes. That's the old pin boy positions.
Yes, and that can get confusing, even for folks like me, where I don't bowl at I've bowled at Exeter, I think, maybe 4 times in my life, and I remember coming here for states, it was a little bit confusing understanding the lane pairings because I was still kind of mentally gravitating towards the ball return, and then I didn't realize it's like, oh, it's different here. Old school since 1945 at Exeter bowling lanes.
Paladino side saddle triangle.
That is the. Did you know in 10-pin they call the diamond the bucket?
They do, yes.
Which is
the
weird.
Dinner bucket.
It's weird. I was watching a PBA Tour finals the other day, and they called the bucket, and I'm literally yelling at my TV going, what do you mean bucket?
There's a 9.
PBA Tour is silly. 9 for Dino.
JJ Tarigny just is in the house as well.
I didn't even see him till now. He literally came out of the walls.
Snuck up on us. Paladino and he and Todd Holbrook and Chad and you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say lead lanes in the present tense, even though we know it's not, I can't say in Nashua, New Hampshire right now, but you know, ownership's imploring us to have optimism.
Lots of familiar faces piling in here, which makes sense for a very finals-y finals.
All right. That's, why did I, Oh, that's silly. Why did I have this weird W here?
6-7 for Dom. Ooh, a little bit off.
It'll be an 8-box here.
I was speaking with Dominick Paladino on the way up, and I was talking with him about he has 2 pairs of shoes he has with him today, and he's kind of experimenting. One is a brand new pair of shoes, and he was talking about he has the kind of shoes where you can swap out the heel, I guess, and maybe some portion of the slide in some way. And he was talking about he's just trying to find the right comfort level for that. So if you watch his shoes and watch the heel pad, we'll see, whoa, and headpin. But he might be still figuring that out based on his body language from the last.
Not a direct headpin hit.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, well, he gets the split credit then, but no headpin hit.
I don't have a way to note that, honestly. If you don't hit the headpin, I don't note the red. You don't.
You got one light, yeah.
You don't deserve the distinction. Micah Imperato and you think differently. What a spare that is, though.
You know,
3-in-1 conversion by Paladino.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's you know, who cares if it was a split? The fact that you get it. Candlepin bowling is a game of the second ball. Look at that, 3, 6, 7, 10. He releases more to the right. I was a little worried he was going to drift to the right, but he just ran down that 3-6 pocket to take the 7 and the 10. Second mark of the game, filling that mark all over the move. Too much down the head pin.
Got 6.
Could have been worse. 4, 6, 2, 10.
You can have a red light this time. All right, so 2 marks. We said 3 marks was average for these bowlers.
All right.
Well, 2 and 2. Makes it dance, but the 10 pin was short.
That's slice and dice between the 6 and the 10 on that piece of wood. I think that was what used to be the 2 pin, cutting off the left sidewall, sliding laterally.
Almost back-to-back dandies. We'll score that a 9 either way.
Yep. Into the gutter, back out of the gutter. There was, wow, 3 pieces of wood in that gutter.
All right, so that's second mark. Remember, folks, 5 strings total pinfall. Nothing else matters. Nothing else mattress anybody can see.
Nothing else mattress.
To me. Box 10.
Yes, queen.
Half Worcester, I thought. Instead,
it becomes a 6-pack.
We call it. The leaf needs some name anyway. Now look at that wood, though. I think that head pin takes it all.
I think the wood makes it easier. Instead of a pocket, you want direct on the head pin to just kindly push backwards.
Just like on it.
Just like
yes.
that.
Oh, the 4-pin was nervously going down, but it did.
Just the way I saw that, I was like, I love when I talk about something and it plays out as I talk about it.
Excellent. A plan comes to perfection.
Well, there's your 3-mark par for Dominick Paladino so far. That's 104 and.
Last ball. Off target, but a good mix here. That's 8.
That's what we see a lot about at lane 3 at Exeter. A lot of you can miss the target and still get a decent splash. Good for fills, at least. If you got the yips, you're covered.
Switch them around. So, Lyonnais, who had a good head pin half generally, I think both these bowlers are half and half on the head pin, according to the Micah Imperato statistics, the unofficially, amazingly official statistics he keeps.
Certainly are.
See if I can recite the web address. ACST. I am Akeem.com.
I am Akeem.
I'm going to have to put that in text. Good spare. Bounce back on that one. For his second.
And, you know, I usually like to, for some reason, I mentally autocorrect that to Acclaim, like Acclaim Entertainment, old game studio that used to exist. But Akeem, I never asked Micah what the story is on that, but I have noticed he uses that handle online for a couple of places.
That's ACST.IAMAKKIM.com.
Correct.
7 fill.
That's the 258.
Ripped apart the front 2, no go.
Heartbreaker. One of those things where you really can't play it any different.
Stick with 9. Average pin loss for these bowlers is pretty similar. Lyonnais does a little better. He leaves an average of 43 pins on the plate per match. Dominick, 47. It was a factor last time they met on a low-scoring affair for both of them.
It's a difference of 7 at the equivalent point in the string right now.
That's better. 8 pins.
All right. 5-9. 5-9's a service, which is usually 99.999% uptime. Let's see if JT Lyonnais can live up to that benchmark.
Has the guardrail. It's good.
All right.
And he has 3 marks.
Beautiful SLAs for JT Lyonnais. Service level agreements for those who don't work in IT. So JT, that's his 3rd mark of the game as well.
Told you we had day jobs.
And
that's good. 8 again.
Another 5-9. More uptime for JT Lyonnais and 8 fill.
First time I get to say crossovers leave kings.
Are they averaging the same in fills right now? Did my eyes deceive me?
Oh. They, nope. Paladino has 2 more bonus pins we see.
That's what I thought.
22 to 20.
I was doing the mental math on that.
So we'll take 10 on that one. First 10 bucks, incidentally.
Difference of 8.
So actually, those 2 extra pins on the fill could be. Oh, but Lyonnais is pinning better as well because of that 10 box in part.
Lyonnais averages 111.6 in the regular season. Paladino 109.5.
Speaking of those 2 pins, isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
He's got the 1-2-9. On target, but the 2-pin gets neglected by 2 pieces of wood.
Just a little bit too much to the right of the head pin there because it just didn't push back far enough from the 2.
Surprised to see that pin standing, but it's a 9 box and a 113 to 112.
Love that. Difference of 1.
Let me take a peek here with JJ. Be right back.
Yeah, that's a nice even first game. Difference of 1. Very competitive. 3 marks apiece. 113 to 112. And I got the thumbs up from Greg Gouillart that the score is confirmed. 113 to 112. Lyonnais Paladino, respectively. Up to string 2 of 5 that we're just kicking off here. Dominick Paladino, the away bowler, will lead off. Against JT Lyonnais here on the ACST. You're watching on Candlepin Bowling Network. Greg Gouillart, Steve Kelly on the call on this Sunday, well, no longer morning, I can't say. It's 17 minutes past noon. It's a wonderful sunny afternoon in Exeter, New Hampshire at Exeter Bowling Lanes. Excuse me, and I said 1945 establishment date. 1946 is the actual date.
Keeps the house nice and quiet. 12 lanes here. And Shooter's Sports Pub just next door. Got to sip my Coca-Cola in between frames, note to self.
139 for Paladino for a spare. Oh.
No go.
Just a little bit of a drift to the left on that ball.
Both bowlers have a 151 high on the season, 151 string high. Lyonnais has managed a 645 and Paladino is 616.
Nice 10 box for Paladino. Dominick Paladino, fun fact, was telling me on the way up here, he was talking about his high single as when he was bowling as a kid in the juniors, and he said it was unbroken for at least a decade and some change. He was an upper 150s high single when he was, I want to say, 11 or 13 years old, just going off of, remember what he told me in the car. And he did not surpass that high single until actually just a couple of years ago. And I understand that. You can get stuck in a rut sometimes with bowling. I was stuck in the 150s for my high single for quite a while.
Based on just one snapshot in time then again.
13789 for Paladino. Interesting leave. Chopped wood on the second ball for a 10 box.
Nice third ball. That's not.
It's good recovery for sure.
This is where the game starts getting challenging here, when you start getting off your mark and then you have to get a challenge on the third ball.
I understand getting the drop on somebody in a first game and then suddenly you have a bit of a slump in the second. That's just a rhythm that I know all too well. And
it's such a lonely place, isn't it?
Yeah, you can feel on top of the world by throwing an incredible first game, and then second game you're just jonesing for that same high, and it's just hard to get it back sometimes.
Key 7-pin falling out there, so 5 and 8.
So Paladino's been drifting to the left a little bit on his ball. See if maybe that could help here, but I'm worried he might take the 8 and miss the 5.
Took a little longer this time. Maybe was waiting on rolling wood. His try. Left it short this time.
Wow, overcorrected a little bit. Probably didn't want to leave one pin on the deck, but he thought about it too much in the release. Oh, but way too much to the left. Still on the deck, so that'll be a 9 box. 28 after 3 for Dominick Paladino.
This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Playoffs are in full swing, so the matches are less in full swing, of course, fewer of them. But the conference finals are still mostly to be played, apart from Dino Dellis, who now has the C North final, and Paul Campos and Charles Park, who won Class F, that are not split into North-South as well.
That's a Dimitri Dellis in C. Dino's in A.
Dimitri, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
Dimitri, though, he's been a big star of Class C this season. I covered a lot of his matches, and he's been on fire. He's had some really incredible shots and just games and everything. Dimitri Dellis, just breakout season.
Outside spare.
Great spare by Dom. 1-3-6. That goes away.
Might as well take another look at it. It was a pretty sweet outside angle.
Why not? Yeah, on the Brooklyn side of the head.
Oh, what tripped it from behind?
Yeah. So he kind of got a little spinny kick. Actually, maybe that wouldn't have gone had that piece of wood not been there.
To Phil. Got his head pin, 7.
1-2 pocket. 3-5-9. Lane 4, 45. With that 7 fill.
So that's slightly a left drift, technically, a bit of a crossover.
Yes.
But starting to find the range more and more as he looks for a second mark. No time like the present. Ooh, and he does the same thing as JT and diverges them.
I was going to say, same shot, same positioning, and wouldn't have done it any differently. You had to hope he got a sidewall or a full kind of shot in some way, and that just didn't happen for either bowler, so they're even on that front.
That should just be white simply. That's a 9 and a 54 half.
It's a 9 with emphasis. 54. His average box has been up there. 10s and 9s aside from the spare.
Lyonnais broke up the spread eagle.
That was looking scary there for at least a millisecond or two.
Lyonnais won his division by 5 match points over Anthony Delmonico. Second only in the league to John Olosa, and he nearly runs it down. Just flat. And 10. Dominick Paladino was the number 6 seed. He lost the division by 19 points to Bruno DeFeo. Yes, he's still going at it, and how. and he was 17 points short under Anthony Delmonico. 5 out.
Horseman and the sleeper.
This is string 2 of 5, excuse me.
Sure is. Oh, run it down.
It's gone. 5 from behind.
Let's look at that again.
Yes, please.
Love that, because that was a gracious bailout right there, because he was too full on the head pin, took a 1-9, but he somehow then came all the way back and ran him down forwards.
Speaking of forwards.
That's a 4 fill. There is a sleeper pin back there. A little bit hard to see, but it's the 8th pin.
Close on this one. Michael Izzo, how you doing?
So
We're doing well, thanks. How are you?
JT was a little off target there, and he was on the first ball, too, as well as the previous ball, really. That one's on target, though. There's a 10 box.
Pretty 10, too. Pin perfect through the first 3.
JT up in the third, 34 to Dom's 28, and the equivalent point in the string.
Winner faces Glen Gill or Marquis Mayer. That's crushed. 5 pin.
That 5 pin. Everything around it.
Same energy as Dinkelberg. What's a non-factor? That's a spare. Second one of the half.
All right. Well, that makes things interesting, and Lyonnais is picking up the pace a little bit here. 44 and compared to Dominick Paladino's 45 after the fill in the 4th.
That's 6. Get over. Thank you. All right. So that's 5 ahead at this point in the string. 6 ahead in the match, box to box.
1, 3, 6, 10. Right side 4 horsemen.
Can he run it? Yes, he does.
Oh, look at that.
I think I even said it before the fourth
did.
pin went down.
Yeah, and actually I heard you say it, and I was like, hold on, that 10 was dicey, but you took a shot, and you got it.
All right. So the one time the commentator hits anything in Candlepin is when he speaks anyway.
Sometimes you just know, though, because honestly, before we threw that ball, something told me, I was like, that's a slash right there. That's a spare.
It was labeled. That's Steve Kelly. I'm Greg Gouillart, and this is Candlepin Bowling Network and the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Facebook page.
And then the finals.
String 2 of 5. You see the 7-pin lead on JT's side. That's just a mark.
King of B North today will be crowned. Ooh, nice mix by Paladino, 1-5-3.
A finals, A North is Pete Crawford Jr. versus Mike McIntosh, and A South is Justin Waters versus Jeremy Seaholm. C South is today, by the way. I'll get to that in a sec. I'll get to it now. Dimitri Dellis, I beg your pardon, sir. I'm sorry for mispronouncing, getting that wrong, simply. And then Sean Pine versus Zach Corbett. That's today at 6 p.m. C South matchup. Drew Steele on the call on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page.
Should be a great one to watch.
We'll stick with 7 on this one, 61-6 for Paladino.
I was hoping he would at least take 1 or 2 of those pins out, because we could continue the discussion on whether that shot went or not for JT and Paladino, but nothing doing. Starts with hitting it.
Lyonnais leads by a ball in a box.
Dominick Paladino is a 13th highest Class B average at 109.53.
It's going to be 7. This is gettable. Where's the wood going?
I'm a little worried about that cap wood to the left of the head pin. If you're not on that pin, it'll be
make a good selection. Avoid the deflection.
Yes.
Just
like that. That was precisely the worry.
But even if he got on the right side of the head pin, it could have glanced it away, perhaps. The safe shot is to the left, and that's a fine 9.
A fine 9.
That's exactly the tactic, of course.
Not a course 9, a fine 9. That's his 4th 9 of the game. Lowest box is 7. Trending high.
Hello, Shane, and hello, Ed Sargent. Good to see you all. 3 out.
Ooh.
Anthony Leonardi versus Gary Dion D North, and Patrick Holland versus James O'Brien, who kicked my behind when I was subbing in the league that are in D South. Trying to bounce back. He got a spare. Great bounce back ball by Paladino for his second mark.
What a nice way to clean that up. That pile of pins. That's just a chaos ball that just hit the target pin and hope for the best, and that was precisely what was needed for Mr. Paladino.
Steve Kelly will be back on the mic next week, June 29th. Matthew Powers versus Mark Milliken, June 29th. Phil 7.
And that will be at Boutwell's Bowling Center at about 7 p.m. after Mixed Worlds concludes. So time may drift plus or minus 7 p.m. depending on when things are, be a very busy bowling alley that week at Concord, New Hampshire at Boutwell's.
3-pinner does not go, and Jesse Mondor and Gerard Hogan, E-South.
That's a 3-pin for Paladino.
I may still have the replay of that half Worcester. I'll try and get to that.
Sure. 9 box for Paladino, 96 and 9.
There it is. Oh,
Here we
brilliant.
go.
It was a 7-pinner, in fact.
Not quite a half Worcester. 5-pin was down as well. Ooh, beautiful.
Piece of wood tangles up in the 6-10, and down they go.
He was on the 1-2 pocket. That was great.
To wrap his second string up. It's crushed. It's A.
Touches 10. So you get 10 contact, but not 10 down.
They told me you gotta hit him. Come on.
They tell you a lot of things at Candlepin. They tell you a lot of things. Oh no.
Well, we can tell you why the head pin didn't go down. The rest you're on your own.
Oh my goodness, especially the 5. We saw this at least one other time where, you know, perfect shot, strike ball otherwise. And
alrighty, so big chance for Lyonnais now.
yeah, 2 marks that game for Paladino, down from his par of 3 on average in the first game. Lyonnais already at 3 marks, so if you're just thinking reducing the score down to just a game of marks, Lyonnais has a chance to bank here, 50 plus after 5. Only needs 4 to tie Paladino and more than 4 to start piling on the lead. No, excuse me, 60, not 50.
Piling on 8.
68 in 5. That's nice. So yeah, correction, actually that gap is wider than I originally conceived. So 68 after 5 for JT Lyonnais to 54 for Paladino.
6-9, see ya.
Another mark.
In that last match, Lyonnais did have one more mark, 13 marks to 12 over Paladino. But like I said, the pinning was the factor. This time, JT's got a bigger advantage.
And Lyonnais had 15 marks against Jeff Little, 9 spares, 6 strikes. Jeff Little had 4 strikes, 11 spares. So they both had 15 marks that game.
How about that?
And
9 drop here for Lyonnais.
JT Lyonnais was 62% on the head pin against Jeff Little.
Fair and a spare and a 4 in a row.
4 in a row, and it, you know, it's aside from that 10 box, it could have been 6 in a row. Really, wow.
Let's go, Darren. Best ball and pin retriever in the game, Darren.
Big shout out to Darren. Every time I walk into this place, he finds me like immediately and says hi. So Darren's an incredible dude.
Yeah. He and Rob Ficara Sr. are big reasons why Exeter Lanes is so good. And just as a reminder of how brutal Candlepin can be, spread eagle.
Talent spread eagle at that. A 3-drop spread eagle with the 9 pin still there. Oh, despair in this box.
And, would you have gone right on that one?
I would have just gone for as many pins as possible just to salvage. But
that's 5, unfortunately. You see the sleeper.
Should be 5, yep.
Mark Ritchie in the house, watching the visiting bowler Dominick Paladino, Riverwalk Lanes.
Actually, it might have been a 3-fill. There was a talent on that spread eagle.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Before anyone says anything about that.
I can take a critique. I can handle it.
It's all good.
Just please make it constructive.
But there's a mark for JT.
Lyonnais deconstructs that.
No, and I don't blame you for that. Seeing sleeper pins
6 marks.
Oh my goodness. Sleeper pins in Exeter are incredibly hard to see, especially on a zoom cam, just because of the lighting. Some houses are like that, and this is one of them.
Smashed again. It's 9.
A big 19. 124.
And another single. And another spare. A 7-mark string by JT Lyonnais.
7 marks. His lowest box was 10. So he's throwing a perfect game. Oh, no, excuse me. Sorry, there was a 5 box. I thought there was a mark on that 5.
Yeah, there was a blotch of red. I'll have
Just kidding.
User interfaces be darned. The fill is 5 and the string is 139. I'll confirm.
Tentative 105 to 139, Paladino Lyonnais. We are in the validation phase, and we are good. Confirmed 105 to 139, Dominick Paladino, JT Lyonnais. That puts the total at 217 for Paladino, 252 for JT Lyonnais. A difference of 35 in JT Lyonnais, the home bowler's favor as we go into string 3 of 5. On the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class B King of the North Conference Finals here at Exeter Bowling Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. I'm Steve Kelly with Greg Gouillart on the call. You're on Candlepin Bowling Network.
That's me. Hey, if you don't mind liking the video by hitting the thumbs up button if you're logged into the platform of choice. Either way, thank you for your support just by watching.
Hit the like button, or else I'll find you. It's Candlepin Bowling Network. Anywhere you have a search bar. 1, 2, 4, 7, 10 for Dominick Paladino on the first ball.
There we go. Graphics are difficult.
They sure are. So is the 1, 2, 4, 7, 10 as Dominick Paladino punches the 2. High-low jack in the 4.
Just get on that head pin. Just shaded it to the left. Needs something to get back into this. Still plenty of time, though.
I was going to say, we are more than 2.5 games out from the final determination of the winner. So
10 marks to 5 in the early going.
JT had a hot game, but, that can turn on its head at any moment. You got to stay on.
James Humes, good to see you. Hello, Chase. Isn't Exeter awesome? Paladino's found his head pin, but a split. First time I met Dominick, he was bowling the Easter Classic alone. Oh, what a close cut that was over the 8th spot.
What year was that?
It would have been the first year I covered it, which was 2022 when Chris Merrill repeated post-COVID.
Yes. And
23 was Tim Douglas, 24 was Austin Barnes, 2025 Josh Daly.
Okay, so I was bowling in that one. Yep. Yeah, the Tim Douglas year, I was bowling in that. He was there's something about Easter Classic. The winner is always nearby me, and that year Tim Douglas was right next to me. So, yeah, he took it all that year.
Though having Josh Daly and Tim Hazard side by side, that was fun. 20-string annual competition, still in Lita Lane's control. I mean, people want a 20-stringer, but on Easter Sunday, everyone agrees that's Lita's property. 9 pins crushed by Dominick.
Just the 5 again. Another shot where you take 9 out and leave only the 5. I don't think a 5 got touched this time, so can't say 10 got touched.
Tempo disrupted by the rolling wood. Has to wait for it.
Will he play the log?
Gets it.
Nah, play the pin direct.
So there's that 1 mark. Can him possibly claw back into this. Still has a ways to go, but a few more here. That 7-mark string is tough to come back against.
Dominick Paladino, 6'10" pocket. Oh, that's the Chaz Gallant pocket. Chaz Gallant at Boutwell's Bowling Center, he almost got a Julian strike off the 6'10" pocket last time I covered him. He took everything but the head pin out on a 6'10" pocket shot.
Sean Baker has done that. Bolorama Portsmouth.
It is possible. And
now,
especially there.
I should have hit that replay button faster. I was so in awe at how in the world. I guess the head pin jumped between the 2-5?
Yes, I have a mental image of what that shot looked like, and that was about what happened.
Nice 10.
Good conversion. Dominick Kegstand Paladino.
Pardon?
There's a story I got about him that's fun.
How much can you tell us?
Well, I mean, the nickname alone is kind of is enough to provoke the mind. He had a fun night way back in the winter, and I remember we were carpooling somewhere, and he told me the story. It was to Boutwell's actually for an ACST match of his. Yes. Okay. No. Now I'm remembering this. I'm sorry. No, it's actually a great story because he was not feeling well that morning, as I don't know, the word keg stand might imply. He threw I think the best series of the season that morning when he was still recovering from said activity. That was in Boutwell's Bowling Center. I want to say that was against who was that? It was an game.
Follow the green, I guess.
Yeah, it was a 600-something game.
7-10. It rolls.
There it
it's
goes.
good.
Get a thing on that while I
2-mark half. It's a good one.
Jog my memory on this. It was at Boutwell's Bowling Center, and he threw a 600, a fantastic rip-roaring 600 game. But watch this shot on the 7-10. 3 pieces of wood. Oh, yeah.
Something had to take it, right?
Of course.
Ooh.
All over that.
Half Worcester, I think.
Yep, it is.
Oh.
The 5-pin was thinking about it, but didn't quite go down.
No drinks allowed on the lanes, otherwise it'd be even more fun. Though significantly less fun. Please, take care of our approaches, especially these beautiful wood approaches.
Some of these approaches, that of which are pushing 100 at this point, maybe 2 decades off at Exeter since 1946. I know I said 45 earlier, but that was just a mental miscalculation. Since 1946, post-World War II era was when Exeter Bowling Lanes was built. Maybe that was last season I'm thinking of when that story happened with Dom. But regardless, it was incredible. I remember he said in the middle of the match, he just thought he goes, dude, I'm cooked. I can't keep bowling. But he kept bowling like 120s, 130s. It was incredible. It is escaping me as to when that match was played.
Lyonnais working out a tough split here. The entry angle in the first ball caused that.
4-5-7.
And hello, he's got a 10 out of this.
Nice 4-5-7 10 box.
Hey, who wants to see a replay?
Oh, I sure do.
Look at this one.
I don't care if it's a 10 box. I want to see cool bowling. Let's
Wood
watch
just
this.
tangles up here.
He just hit the.
Oh, and the 4 goes into the 5, I think.
That's the only. That's the way you got to play it. Cap the right side of the wood.
Who knew? 6 pins out. There's an 8 pin as well.
1, 2, 8, 9.
Can't sneak up on it this time.
Not quite.
Such a fussy game, Candlepin bowling. No oil, no ball cores, no mercy. No guarantee of hitting even the pin you want to hit. It's 9, though. Again, well pinned. He just needs the marks now. Not desperately. He's in the lead, but still.
That could open up a potential for comeback for Dominick, who's on a mark. Like I said, it's only a difference of, it's not a huge runaway. JT had a big second game, but still anyone's.
Boy.
7, 9, 10.
Virtually no drive through the 5, but the wood up high is interesting.
Yeah.
As a go, Redline does not take the 10. Somehow. Fair and a 10 again. He's drilling a lot of these single pins. I was mentioning pinning was the problem last time. Not so much here. At the ball changeover, I'm going to have to start writing down some statistics. I broke some of the statistical analyses with the new score sheet, so I got to.
Oh, for shame.
Tisk.
Oh, 1, 7, 10, 4, 6 on the spare shot for JT. And like I said,
It's my favorite third ball leave when I'm not the one shooting it. And a nice out. 47 all pinning. Paladino down 34 plus a ball.
So the keg stand game from Dominick Paladino was against John Alosa at Boutwells. That was round 5 this season. He threw a 614. I covered that match, streaming evidence. I don't think we really mentioned it on stream at the time, but yeah, Dominick was battling just a little bit of a couple of demons inside biologically, and but it didn't stop his bowling from being incredible. 109, 146, 139, 112, 108 for a 5-game total of 614, which was the second best of the season. Only bested by his game against Jeff Little was a 616. That was the Dominick Kegstand Paladino story, in case anyone was wondering.
The more you know.
Did not stop him from bowling incredible.
This is headpin. Good fill. 8. Make it.
3 pins.
Still 8.
Not quite.
56 half.
An 8 fill is still great. 56 to 47. Paladino line is.
And short pins the 10.
My goodness. Paladino for the 10 box on the 10 pin.
And he's all over this 10 pin. Both are.
Dominick Paladino manages the 43 East Hollis Street mobile station in Nashua, New Hampshire, and he has, Dominick is just loaded with amazing stories that are just insane. And as a manager of a gas station, there's a lot of them. There's some really entertaining stories if you have the time to ask him about some of them.
Hopefully none of them involve fire.
Maybe not fire, but maybe a little bit of, gas, occasional espionage. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Maybe not quite, but just, when you take a truck and back it up to a gas pump and
oh no,
attach a hitch to it, something is up. The guardian of mobile is Dominick Paladino. We'll just say that.
The whole point of a gas station is you take it to go. What are you doing?
Some people just can't take the hint.
Needs it out. Got it. That's 7.
Ooh. I thought that 2 had a chance, but not quite.
One day calling pins quickly is going to burn me, but not today. Not this moment. Great to see you all out there. Candlepin Bowling Network and the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Please keep liking that video. Well, make sure you hit the like button an odd number of times. Thank you very much. 95 of you watching. Much appreciated.
We are very particular about our numbers.
Spread Eagle less 1. I'd like to think I care about the humans,
Yeah, that's empathy is great.
We need more of that in this world.
Of course.
Dom needs a few more pins.
3, 4, 6, 7.
A lot of splits. You see that red stacking up center column. Head pin hits are noted down the middle as I do it.
I feel like he could be a little more comfortable if he could just get another mark in these next 2 boxes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, every pin counts here.
So now 2 marks, but he can't pin out 100.
So he's still down by 3 to Lyonnais, 3 boxes ahead of Lyonnais. So that kind of gives you mental picture. Like I said, probably another mark or 2 will maybe even things out, but...
Yep. JT still has to pin out, but in the first half he was great, so that's the concern. Still time. That's smash. That is 9.
9 drop on the 6. Go get that single. Paladino. There it is.
It's good.
On the single, he got it. Redemption from the first game where he missed a single. Last time versus JT Lyonnais, Dominick Paladino threw a 531 with 0 strikes, 12 spares, 15 tens. Average.
No strikes, that's right.
Totaling 75 in bonus pins on mark fills. Spare fills, he had no strikes.
That's gone.
Big.
20 bucks.
Big 20 and 10 plus. That was so, yeah, like we said, our lecture about he needs just a mark or 2 to get back into this game, and we now have a game again. That might even things out if JT kind of stays the course here. Look at that great strike. Rips 10 off of lane 3. On a strike, 2-ball fill. Missed the head pin. Bucket of 5 in the 10, 4 so far. 3 so far, excuse me. No, 6-pack in the 10. Yeah, 3 so far. The number's correct.
How about some more? Yes, that's good. That's an 8 fill. 117, a good salvage.
I was going to say higher than 5 would have been a great fill, and wow, yeah, you turned a bag of crap into something great. 117 for Dominick Paladino, 334 3-game total.
All right, so if Lyonnais throws all 10s, it's 349. We may still have a match. JT needs to throw a few marks to make sure he doesn't.
Yeah, so in all reality,
make it too suspensive.
He'll probably still have a lead, but that lead won't be as big as it was going into this 3rd game at the beginning. Spread eagle. Spread eagle with a broken wing.
Joey Lister's like, see, I show up and there's a 20 box. I'm the factor here. Ooh,
of course.
6 box.
6 for not Paladino, JT Lyonnais. Okay, so yeah, a couple of these, if, I'd say he's not in the danger zone just yet, but things could even out if he can kind of get something figured out here. Markless, 53 and 6. 3 splits. Oh.
That's good. That's a 9 drop. 4 pin.
There we go. Oh, he misses it. Oh, he missed the single. Just kind of barreled down the center and didn't drift.
Out of 10.
Missed the second, get the 3rd.
Not a good time for that. JT Lyonnais bowls on Team USA in Men's Worlds. I should have looked up mixed worlds rosters. He certainly, either of these bowlers has the caliber to make a roster. I just didn't check. In there, 7-9.
All right, so that's a 7-9 with a piece of wood in front of the 9, slightly diagonal. I don't know if it's diagonal enough. You're going to have to spin a ball probably to the left.
Forward 2. Red line does not take it.
I was worried about that. And I was like, you could hit it the right way, but if you're not kind of coming in at it with the right English finesse, then it's not going to go.
All right, quick tempo in that 3rd ball turns to a 9. I want to see again, just see where the ball deflection is what I'm curious in.
Red line.
Short.
Yep. Yeah, it had to go left faster than it did, because you saw it did end up going left, but it was behind the pin.
Thought the wood came forward enough, it didn't. This is the baby high-low jack. It's the 279.
Oh, really? You don't see this shot actually all that often, at least in my experience. I don't remember the last time I got this shot.
Bunch out there, but he's missed the object.
The jack wins again.
Look at all those splits stacking up here. That's not going to help with the pinning either. It's 5 bricks of red on his side.
Only +1 from Paladino by the end of the game, but he still has another box to go.
No quality head pin leaves, at least according to this. Who knew? 9.
Baby Jack still wins for for JT.
Yeah, it was
JT cracked 10K in pinfall in the regular season, 10,048 seasonal total pins.
More gets it instantly. Strike.
Speaking of pinfall, there's another 10. So that might help him out in maintaining that lead, the total pinfall lead, at least not making it a little bit further away from even. It already wasn't going to be, but it'll add a few more.
It was so up and down in the last match. Lyonnais went 115, 88, 109, 102, 99. He's going to try and rescue this one, a ball to go.
Just like Paladino, he missed the head pin to the left. Dropped a low amount of pins on the first ball. Something over 5 would be comfortable.
No,
but it's not.
4. 95 string, and we have a match.
That's a difference of 13, just a mark and a 3 fill between Paladino and Lyonnais. We're just going to confirm those numbers in just a hot second as Greg sneaks up to the table to make sure. And he's looking. No thumbs up, so pending. We'll see what's going on. What's going on, Greg?
Oh, that's confirmed. Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, it is. Okay. I didn't see the thumbs up.
I didn't do one.
Yeah, I was looking at you. I was like, I don't know if that was right, but okay, we good. So 334 for Paladino, down by 13 to JT. Lyonnais is 347. 3 games in, still competitive, very competitive, just within a mark's reach. Any bowler that just gets hot, even for a brief period, is in good standing here as we go into the 4th game of 5. 4th game of 5 here on the ACST on Candlepin Bowling Network. There it is.
I could probably do a macro for that as well one day. Paladino's turn with the spread eagle.
The spread eagle. I-G-G-L-E-S. Eagles.
You can take me hot to go. What?
Well, there's half of the bird. 3, 6, 10.
Oh, it was my impression that everyone had heard.
A certain bird is the
Nicely pinned. That's a quality 10.
And that's really the best you can hope for. You can try to do spread eagle for a spare, but it doesn't happen often. The last time I saw someone make it, it was Ed Sargent at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire during his match, and that was an incredible one.
Hello again, Ed. I see you.
Yeah, I know Ed's here. He heard me. I didn't forget.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Greg Packer. Good to see you.
That's a 2 diamond for Dominick Paladino. Now you can't. It's hard to see the pin in the back, but it's the classic diamond of Channel 5 fame. 3 different possible diamonds on the deck, I believe.
The 4 go about 1 and 4, and the diamond left, indeed, does not.
2 of 4. That's known as the bucket in the PBA Tour on 10-pin and 10-pin land. I don't know about duck pin. I don't know what they call it in duck pin.
Nicholas Lloyd, where are you? That's not.
9 for Dominick Paladino, 19 after 2.
Nick Lloyd of Duck Pins Forever, number 4.
I just started watching that channel, actually, and as someone who's never played duck pin and who has played 5 games of 10-pin, it was kind of mesmerizing to watch the subtle differences between Candlepin and duck pin.
Though my favorite thing was seeing Scott LaPierre actually do pretty well in a tournament. He didn't finish first. In fact, Gary Santora, who's been good at both for a long time now, passed him at some point during that. But
wild.
I don't think it was a Pop Witten Pro Tour event, the ones where they give you the stars on your back, or maybe it was. I'm not certain.
You got to earn those stars.
But either way, State of Maine, no duck pin up that way, and LaPierre did very well for himself.
There's something about the pin centers in duck pin that are kind of oddly relaxing to watch.
Those are a story as Paladino gets second ball but not third on the split. They're the Sherman pin setters, and the man who had the patent for those just took the patent vindictively to his grave rather than selling it to Brunswick.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's their reason why they're in a pin setter crisis, much like Candlepin is, because Bullmore is bankrupt.
That's wild.
So it's much like the Hackney medallions of New York taxi cabs. You kind of have to wait for one to relinquish their pin setter before you can open another.
What a world we live in where we got to wait for a public domain pin setter to revive it, to assist an industry.
Well, yeah, we're kind of
wild.
We're kind of in an in-between in the manufacturing. Paladino's got to slip in between the 1 and 2 for the 4 horsemen.
It's like a Mickey Mouse situation.
Outside it goes.
Nice job, Dominick. 4 horsemen left side. He was on the Manhattan side of the head pin, if I recall correctly. Let's confirm that, if my memory serves. To the right, watch that head pin on the right side. Well, maybe a little more full than I thought, but still kind of more right-ish.
And the wood took it from behind, that's why.
Yes. Love to think about shots like if the wood wasn't there, would it have gone?
To Phil, got his head pin. It's 4.
It's the 189 minus the 3. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
Huh. I got to watch this ball before I say it.
We've seen Keith Beaupre make a similar looking shot.
Close. Wood's coming across. 10 pin does not fall.
See, Keith Beaupre got the 189 in the Friday Night Pro League, and then he spared it with no wood at Academy Lanes on lane 3 a while back.
The kid who got a replay on the pinball machine took up all the luck. Quality 10 again and a 51.5.
That's good work. Staying on pace.
Look at that. The head pin, he got the one time he marked, he didn't hit the head pin.
Dang, that's something. 3 splits.
Happens more often than one thinks.
So let's see if I'm reading your lingo correctly. He's 4 for 5 on the head pin with 3 splits that half.
Why are you red? Get out.
Is that correct? 4 for 5 on the head pin with 3 splits?
Correct.
All right.
That's on the head pin. Lyonnais 1 for 1.
It's another single. We've seen a lot of singles that have resulted in like the 4 pin or the 6 pin. Or the 5 pin. That middle row seems to be the most resilient row so far on the rack.
Oh! Seen a few singles missed each side.
Yeah, that wood was not going to help JT. It was behind the 6. There you go. A 3-ball spare.
Third time lucky.
10 after 1 for both.
Dan, I would never diss pinball. I know how to get the millions on the super jackpots and the, multi-ball restarts. I've watched Papa Pinball once or twice to know how to spew words.
My favorite pinball machine of all time was at Leda Lanes in the 90s. It was called Big Hurt Pinball. It was a baseball pinball machine. Only saw it once at Leda until last November when I was in Chicago. Ooh, spare for JT Lyonnais. I was in Chicago for Microsoft Ignite, and they had one night where they rented out a building for an outing for Microsoft specifically, and they had that pinball table in there, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen this since literally the 90s, and I couldn't believe they had it on free play. It was great.
Smashed in. No kingpin. It's 9. Average spare fill is 6.5, so that's above average. Both sides for the mark in this one. Remember, we came in on a close match.
Another, ooh.
Got the 5 pin this time.
Another 9 drop with a 5 pin down. Again, previously it was the 6 and then the 5. That middle row is just something.
2 marks could have been 3.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but he didn't lose any pins at the very least.
Remember, he had 7 in that second string.
JT.
In again. The fill is 8 this time.
Almost another 5 pin 9 drop.
And he could pin out a 67.5.
And once again, he was already, plus 13 going into the 4th.
Just short.
All over that 5.
Could have been 4 marks.
Coulda, woulda.
It's just that pinning from earlier that set him back a bit, why we still have a tight match.
All right, that 9 box is at 56 after 5.
Though now
no,
again,
4, excuse me.
Though now again, he's already gained 13 bonus pins. Looking pretty good.
3 for 4 on the head pin. No splits, very mercifully. Oh.
I like the Mandalorian pinball Leda Lanes had. Hopefully it's got a good home one way or another.
That was an interesting one, yeah. Modern pinball is interesting to me.
Whoa, outside on this one. Left the 6 and 9.
6-9. There's something about pinball, though, where you just kind of attach a TV to a pinball machine. It kind of loses a little. Something about the magic is a little bit lost. I do agree.
Yeah, give me my orange dot matrix displays at most.
It's like when you play a classic game on a CRT television versus a flat. It's the weird kind of feeling. Anyways,
66 half plays 51 half, and Lyonnais is up by 28 pins.
So we went from plus 13 to plus 28 for Lyonnais 5 boxes later. So we extended the lead with courtesy of 2 high filling marks. Dominick Paladino with 1 mark, but only filling with 4. So it's still not completely a runaway here, but Paladino's going to need at least 1 or 2 more marks. Probably a strike on spare. Spare on strike with a high-powered fill will get him right back in.
Good head pin accuracy from both as well. Usually they're 50-50 on it.
JT was trending 60-odd percent. There's a head pin for Paladino.
3-6-10 with wood.
JT was 62% against Jeff Little and was 66% against Paul Mativier. 66% of the head pin is wild.
It's good.
Nice job for Dominick, though. 3-6-10 go down.
One takes 3, and it's a 2-mark string so far.
So next mission for Dominick Paladino, high-powered fill, and maybe spare it up. We've seen the first ball, when you're on it, it leaves like between 1 to 3 pins on average, it seems. Occasional 4 horsemen, maybe.
Spread eagle punch last time. Off target this time. He's got 7.
7's a good fill, though. 1-3-7.
Headpin is spare leave. Apparently 44% of the time as opposed to 22 otherwise, according to Bob Lee's statistics.
Oh.
That's why you see there's a lot of variance. And
A little bit off.
so, it's an 8 box.
Okay.
It means that 7 spare was significant, of course. Chips away a little bit, but now 13 boxes remaining for Paladino.
Right, it'll chisel away a bit of that lead, but you know, it's a good start. He's still got 3 boxes left, still got some comfort level.
B North Conference hangs in the balance. 6-pack.
Check his ID, We ID at Exeter Bowling Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire, home of the Shooters Sports Pub and Beer Garden.
We only do legal keg stands here.
Yeah. They're cash only, ATM on premises with paper scoring.
Ooh, around the 5 and 7.
5 and 7. Monday night appears to be poker night at the Shooters Sports Pub. Seacoast, New Hampshire adjacent. If you go to UNH or anywhere, it's a short drive.
And it's 9. All right, so the 110 average bowler can pin out 105 right now and still a chance to get that 3rd mark. Is it enough? We've seen JT leave pins on the plate earlier, but had a great pinning half. Well, that was only really for one spurt. Honestly, Lyonnais has been pretty solid throughout. Certainly with that 7 mark string in the second, which is why he has that lead. 3 out this time.
That's a half Worcester plus DLC, the 5 pin down along with a 3 and the 9.
7 pins to get, he'll need a lot more than this. 3rd ball is so key in Candlepin. Want to get at least half the pins out on this one.
Be every pin for Paladino, especially this close of a difference.
Aims a little further left, which is the safer shot. That way he gets 7.
I sympathize with that. Sometimes you just got to think, even in the second ball, you got to strategize. You can say, like, do you go for the trick shot, or is this just out of your reach in terms of the spare? Assume you miss it, then you got to just go for the pins.
This could still easily be a single-digit match.
Dominick Paladino, 92 and 9.
Left of target again, but this time has the 1-3 and an obnoxious piece of wood between the 10. Here it comes. And the wood doesn't take it anyway, so even if Paladino had gotten on that head pin, don't think it would have resulted in much. Guaranteed is triple digits. Gets both pins for 10. Who knows? And that will be 102.
Okay, so Paladino at a plus 23, 5 boxes ahead of JT Lyonnais. So that's going to definitely still put him at a deficit unless there's any huge disasters here with JT.
Right. All 10s would put him 27 ahead, or let's assume 22 ahead for all 9s.
So we'll make that the floor for the lead.
Came in 13 ahead. Got his head pin. Evens up. 2, 4, 6, and 10.
That piece of wood in front of the 2 is helpful.
Helpful enough, though. Ooh, sliced it. The red line on the wood would probably go behind.
A little too full on that.
But a good bid by Lyonnais at a quality 10.
Quality 10.
All the object pins, I figure.
Certainly. And, at this point, he's a little bit in cruise control here. Can afford a few boxes like that.
Skinny Mini, he's got just the 3 pin.
That was a thin hit on the left side of the pocket.
Massive break. I say very quietly into the headset to not kibosh him.
The 3.
There it is.
There it goes. Spare for JT on the single. That'll pad out the lead at least a little more.
So thin on it, but got the back row mix perfectly. And to Phil. Just the 1, the quarter Worcester.
Yeah, you could hear the dink from the cheap seats on that one.
You guys have the impossible seats. We got the cameras perilously up there. I frightened Steve with how high up I hoist everything. Good third ball. That's 9.
Oh, goodness. All
9
right.
box, 96.
Great out.
That's blank. I'm verbal crutching a bit. Note to self. So 20 for the pair.
So JT just, 102 to make it to Dominick Paladino.
Smashed! Goodbye, 7-pin.
And there's no debate on that now. 106 and a ball. 2 balls. Strike Phil. Watch that. Nudge down that 7 ever so kindly. The flatter, more friction-prone gutters of Exeter lanes kind of affords more pin action like that. A little slightly more Canadian style.
Not going to get another.
Again!
That's why you get 2. I don't want to hear it. Not on my approach.
2 quarters.
I do not care. I do not care at 3 Phil.
You might as well, even it up a little bit. 3 Phil on a strike.
Oh, boy. All right, gets away with a 6 on this one. I was nervous about that third ball. That was a key moment. And it was thrown so quickly.
Can you believe that was a strike, Phil?
115 to 102, I'll confirm.
And that difference of 26, we were just about correct on our prediction that the lead was going to be about that by the end of this half. 436 to 462. It looks like that is correct. We'll find out in a second. We good? We good. All right, 436, 462, 4 games in. A difference of 26 in JT Lyonnais' his favor. The home bowler up by 26 against Dominick Paladino. Who will become king of the North? We're going to find out. We have 10 boxes to figure out that debate here at Exeter Lane Shooter Sports Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire. You're watching the Atlantic Candlepin Single Store, the finale of Class B North before we go on to the winner.
String
North
5 of
versus
5.
South.
I've got it. Sorry.
And you got it. String 5 of 5.
I remembered this time.
Dominick Paladino.
Man, Lyonnais could have cinched this match, but the fills were low, so Paladino has some chance. His high single is in the 150s.
Some of those fills weren't exactly his fault either. Those quarters, and then the quarter and the half on that strike fill was yikes.
Yeah, no head pin, in fairness, but second pin we've seen splash out, and it just didn't that time. Paladino's last chance to make a dent here.
It is not impossible, I will say that.
Starting 8, even that is, for now, salvageable. Needs to start chaining a few together now.
I'd say he has to mark more than his average, so that's more than 3 a game at least, and those fills have to be good.
Nothing is prescribed in the ICBA rules about a shoe switch, by the way. How long you get.
I certainly hope not. That would be a weird rule.
Yeah, a lot of pace of play concerns, of course, although, of course, this match is keeping to time. ACST matches are probably keep within an hour and a half.
Yeah, 90 minutes on average, and I feel like this one has been just kind of flying by even.
7 pins to get. In there, spare!
Beautiful.
Paladino marks in the second.
Beauty. 18 and a bonus after 2.
It was a 7-pin cluster. Sorry to be slow on the replay button, but 2, 4, and 8 was out. Game back on. 20 bucks would be significant.
It'll be time to get excited if this fill is real good.
Crossed over, mixing. There goes the 10. It's an 8 fill.
That's good. That's a gap closer, Phil. 3-7.
How's the wood?
Tentatively looks
Right cap should spin in, you think?
Tentatively looks good.
Just hit the pin. See
Yes.
what happens. It's
Yep.
gone.
Yep, precisely what I was thinking about.
Back-to-back spares for Paladino in the first half.
Yeah, just had to cut that wood to the right on the object pin, and just to get it to catch on the right side of the plank and spin left.
Glen Gill and Marquis Mayer, one of the two, will take one of these two on in the B final, venue TBD.
A high fill will really, really be good.
But he's full on it. Brutal outcome for a good hit. It's 4.
No fault of Dominick's, really chopped the head pin on the pocket.
Plank is there in front of the 4-7. That simplifies it somewhat. Can't get the range.
Tailed a little bit to the right.
And now a safety shot is required. That second ball was a key one.
3 can still take 2. That's the one I'd shoot at no matter.
Tries for, oh no, it's left to the right,
Did
so
it
to speak.
Did it twice. Okay.
So it ends up being 19 for the pair.
Kind of negates the mark, really. Makes it more like a 9 and a 10 box.
Still room for a third in this half.
Yes. 2 awkward splits there in boxes 3 and 4.
So tough a split.
And, you know, you really hit the head pin. Like, it was looking like it was going to be raring for a strike.
That's head pin. That's 9.
Speaking of that.
4 pin.
It actually looked like a very similar ball to that 4 fill. And that can happen. You can just get throw the same ball and get a completely different result. So I talking with Peter Crawford Jr. and he was saying the Candlepin is a game of the second ball. If you get a first ball strike,
oh no,
like that, get a first ball strike. Yeah, that's cool. It's kind of a little bit out of your control, other than just the aim. Second ball is really where things matter in Candlepin.
So the Twix bar doesn't get consumed until the third ball. It's a 10, and is that the ball we'll remember?
Well, if it comes down to say something like a 1 or 2 mark difference, then sure. But
now let me hasten to clarify: you have to focus on the positives as well. Lyonnais
Yes.
deserves to be in the lead right now because of that 7-mark dandy in the second string, of course.
that is correct.
Both these bowlers are good. That's why they're here. Lyonnais showing you how. It's 9.
9 down, left the 7 pin.
Harder plank, but a good one to be clear.
A little worried about that wood though.
Don't trip on the front one. He found the gap.
Ooh, wow. The amount of precision needed for that to go.
Third time around, it's a 10.
It's 10 after 1.
So he can pin out 512. If he gets 9s, it's 508. Still gives Paladino room, but
he's just getting fewer and fewer boxes to kind of be able to.
this still can be done. A 20 box at any moment in the complexion completely changes, but what a spare that is. Lyonnais
Yes.
bounces back.
Oh my goodness.
Dave Chestercove's favorite for a reason. It's pretty when it goes.
All over that 1-2 pocket.
Candlepin Bowlers Association sent a message and their first ever annual report. So the Players Association now looking to get in full swing, especially with time during the offseason. Phil is 6.
2, 7, 9, 10 for JT.
Full on the 2 and now a pinning problem. 2 object pin hits and he's stuck with a 7 or 8. Gets a stick.
The best he could have done with that. 7-10 split. 2 for 3 on the head pin, 1 split, 34 after 3 for JT Lyonnais.
He can pin out a 23 pin advantage, or 25. That's a key 4 pin into 7.
Had that been a split, I would have been more worried, but you got a merciful drop on the 4-7. Some late falling action.
3-6-10. Tougher with his crosslane ball. It's good!
Oh.
Sidewall into the 10 for his second spare of the half.
That spare, that's going to be big. So it was on that 3-6-10. The execution on that was great. Just no tail, no drift, no lines, no waiting on that 3-6-10 rundown.
Lyonnais came in with a 26-pin lead and has matched the 2 marks. Looking to fill. Smash the head pin, I thought.
1-2 pocket.
And he gets his 9 drop.
Delayed mix.
4-7 into the 5, and how big is that 19? These bowlers have been all over the 10 pin, both of them, but it was the third ball. Lyonnais has to start thinking, I am in control of this match. Finds the gap again. Another skill shot.
It was either play the wood or play the pin.
And I'm right back to pinball again, apparently.
Ooh.
Wood doesn't work either. That's 9.
All right, that's left on the table.
String 5 of 5. It's a 33-pin lead for Lyonnais. I'm just going to confirm that right now, in fact.
Yes. Well, Greg is checking that out real quick. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for tuning into this Atlanta Candlepin Singles Tour match. This is the best place to watch some of the most exciting Candlepin matches from a wide selection of bowlers from all skill levels. We're having a fantastic time at Exeter Bowling Lanes watching JT Lyonnais battle Dominick Paladino for the finals for the B North Conference. And are those scores official, Greg?
Yes.
All right.
I gave you the thumbs up this time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking. There it is. Yeah, right in my face.
I stuck it in his face.
Big old Facebook like, which you should give to not only this broadcast but the Candlepin Bowling Network as well.
Are we still doing Poke Wars? We could do that too.
Oh man.
1-8.
I think it's still there somewhere in the interface, but yeah, for some people who don't know, Facebook used to have a feature called Poke.
Back in our day. This piece of wood is liable to deflect this head pin. Smash it as hard as you can, I guess.
1 and
Play
8.
outside. Yes, it goes.
And he needed that.
Third spare for Paladino in the string.
And it's like crazy how this shot can go wrong or sideways in so many ways. But watch the way he played the cap on the wood. And the cap on the wood, that is like, it could have just poked the wood right away like a cue shot, and it could have split, but it didn't. So that was a that was a gift.
A backdoor split 7.
Oh, 6, 7, 10.
What a time for that. He missed the head pin, and then he gets brutally punished. That would have been a legendary shot if he made that 6, 7, 10, I tell you.
Had it just been a skosh to the left, I think it could have gone.
A skosh, that's a Mark Ritchie word.
Skosh. Delicious skosh. Okay.
He tried for the skill shot on the third ball. It's an 8.
It's a safe bet. You know, you're picking a stick no matter what. And I mean, out of the two, you'd have to pick the pin that's more out in front, the 6. Good work.
Paladino probably needs running marks from this point on. Running 20 boxes could still do this. Deals in box 8. And you start to wonder at this point. You start to wonder. It's a 6-pin cluster. It's no mark. And now, I think he's in the miracle zone, as I call it. Going to need some double strikes. It's well pinned for 8.
Well, not impossible, but...
Consider the JT, okay, pinfall is tied, but Lyonnais has 3 boxes in hand, and Paladino's got 2 to go. That's where I'm concerned.
And they are tied at the total at this point.
If it were tied, it would be string 6, but it's not looking likely now. Now, 5 pin.
5 goes.
Gets tipped, 7 does not. He may have needed that one, even though it's a quality hit. Dominick Paladino vanquished Bruno DeFeo and John Oloso. What a road to get to this point. Spares in the 9th.
Not bad.
An incredible season he's had. 98 and a ball in the 9th.
He finished 142 and 110 in the regular season, 72 and 54 away, home, 70 and 56 away. On the road, he averaged 112. At home, he averaged 106.7. Better average away than home.
It's smashed. Violin bow between the 6 and 9 denies him a hammer.
That needed to go. Had that gone, that could have been.
Oh, what a time to start getting 9 drops. My goodness.
I know. It's always like, you're always like, now? Really?
Thanks, buddy. Oh, no. Left it to the right as well, so it could have been a 6-mark string, easily.
Could have been.
And that's Class B bowling. You know these bowlers have so much potential, and this is the beauty of the Atlanta Candlepin Singles Tour, like an incubator of Candlepin talent. Dominick Paladino, 116 and a 5.52. Lyonnais requires 28 pins and 5 boxes.
Yeah,
29, really.
Man, if that 9 fill had been a 10 fill a strike, and then had he made that mark at the end. Probably would have maybe had more of a wall of defense here, but at this point, I think Lyonnais mostly just has to coast.
He says, "What a spare!"
What a spare! And yeah, I didn't have time to finish. I'll say if he gets any mark at this point, that's going to basically seal the deal.
It's not official, but that is a spare split befitting of a conference champion.
2-4-6.
Come on, buddy. I was reminiscing about your last good one. Whatever. Show us another one.
4, 5. Excuse me. 5, 6, 10.
Headpin streaks work at 2. Missed that one. The wood was at a strange angle.
JT dropped it a little bit early, but that's kind of his approach. I've noticed.
There's
nice 10. He doesn't throw it after the foul line. He throws it before. Kind of extends the lane length to 62 feet.
It's such a rapid arm motion, including when the backswing goes all the way around.
Yeah. That went past the foul line, actually.
In there, 4-9, but with wood.
And that wood's in a good place across the 4 behind it diagonally.
Look at this headpin streak, too. Missed it altogether. I think this goes on the third ball, but hey, it's over.
It's done.
JT Lyonnais is on his way to the Class B final.
King of the North.
JT Lyonnais took out Paul Mativier and took out Jeff Little, and now takes out Dominick Paladino.
Makes a run at home at Exeter.
I could get used to watching these two guys for a while, I tell you what. Glen Gill, Marquis Mayer are waiting on the B South side. We'll see who advances to that final knockout bracket.
Yeah, and JT, going all the way up through the playoffs, he had just a model of consistency, Against Paul Mativier, he threw 122, 107, 106, 109, 90. Then to Jeff Little, he threw 103, 109, 150, 102, 111. And now he's just continuing that run, this whole way.
Well, shot, buddy.
It's a little like, kneeling after the final snap of an NFL game that you've won, just to run the clock out at this point. But now it's just the riffing. The riffing has begun on the lanes.
And Mark Ritchie likes JT Lyonnais too. Sure, he's the Exeter home bowler, but he likes Riverwalk as well. Lyonnais defeats Paladino 569 to 552, pending official confirmation.
Difference of 17. Actually, we'll confirm that. I think Greg in his hastiness just forgot to put in the 10th frame. We'll confirm that in just a moment. I believe it was an 8 box, so I think it's more than 17 after all said and done. We'll confirm that in just a moment.
I'm taking it too.
Just reminding Greg to put in the 10th frame. There it is. 116 is a difference. 26, an even greater difference there.
Yeah. Let me see.
And he took it, so I'm taking it. I don't care.
So that's the game. It is confirmed. We're going to see if we want to get a bowler or two. Actually, never mind. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we'll skip the interview this time. 26 pins. We'll just take a trip down memory lane, you and I together, just see here. But let's go back to
Certainly.
This is string number 2 on screen. Where is it? No, not that one. There it is. There's string number 2 on your screens here.
That was really kind of the point JT turned on the Jets with that 139 game. That run of marks in particular, the 6 for 10 on the head pin with only 2 splits, 7 for 10, excuse me, and yeah, he just from that point, it wasn't a runaway exactly, but he still held on to that lead from there on out.
Yeah, like that 95 he followed up with, of course, with all those splits as well, was nerve-wracking in string number 3.
Right.
String number 4 was good for 4 marks with scary fills, but so we got a little nervous at this point, but really, there's so many ways you can get nervous about things, but Lyonnais stayed dialed in, and then look at all the head pins he had in string number 5 as well.
That's wild.
8 of 10. Even when it was garbage time, he knew what the results of the match was, and he just stayed locked in.
And that really is a testament to his 60-plus head pin completion percentage in the playoffs in particular. That was just a model of just JT just really dialing in, making sure his performance was not only consistent, but just enough to perform in dire times of need. And that's what gets you. That's what gets you to the championship. And B North champion
6.
JT Lyonnais. Next stop, challenging the South.
32 head pin hits for Lyonnais
32
today.
for 50. That is
64%.
64%. So he's been in the 60s the entire time in the playoffs, and headpins win championships, I guess.
Whatever we do. Happy to sign off here.
Yeah, Greg. Great to have you along or be with you.
Indeed. On behalf of Steve Kelly, my name is Greg Gouillart. Thank you very much for watching this presentation of the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour on the ACST Facebook page and Candlepin Bowling Network. Until next time, perhaps the final round of the playoffs. So long. Oh, wait, one more thing before I sign off. Just kidding, the outro's canceled. Today at 6 p.m., C-South final with Drew Steele on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour.
Check that out.
Now get out of here. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you, folks.